Okay, everyone. As usual, we're going to do a quick sound test. You guys can hear me. Can you type yes in the chat? That'd be greatly appreciated. Just so we can get some confirmation everything is running smooth. But while that's happening, in the meantime, I'd like to welcome y'all to the official Ubereats Q A for the app lifestyle. We'll be answering any questions you guys have about Uber Eats in general, but we'll kind of have the central theme of Uber Eats promotions, what's going on with them, as well as what is a do not do business list when it comes to Uber Eats. Now, the promotions, I will say in the previous Q&A, I did kind of, that it was focused around that, so I'm not going to repeat myself too much on that. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But if the question falls in what I addressed previously, I'm just gonna link to that video. Can y'all hear me? George with a super chat. Yes, much appreciated. Let me just type in the chat. Can you guys hear me? Okay, y'all can David Brown. Y'all can hear me good because YouTube is acting a little strange right now. I don't have the strongest stream health. Hopefully it'll even out over time. But while we're waiting for the chat to fill up with more people, because the video some of y'all have seen about we can now see the customers can see us driving on the way to the restaurant. That wasn't supposed to be released till 15 minutes ago, but it's been out for like an hour. So I don't know what that's about YouTube, but whatever. I'm over it. So people might be a little slow to get the link. But while we're waiting on people, y'all have some thoughts about these Uber Eats promotions disappearing? When I did the polls, even though overall the business list made the top, some of y'all were wondering like what's going on with the Uber Eats promotions. So type yes in the chat if promotions you normally would see have just kind of disappeared. And by promotions, I mean boosts and quests. Let's see. If y'all are just now joining, at the 5-minute mark, we're going to start talking about what is a business do not do business list when it comes to Uber Eats. Let's see. Come on, YouTube. I will say this. In my own market, I haven't seen any promotions really since the beginning of the year. And like I said before, I think a lot of that has to do with this guarantee structure that they started floating around. So if order is going out there too long without getting picked up, Uber assigns a guaranteed amount to it where they'll pay you extra usually like $1.50 to $3 to pick that order up. So they're hoping that's going to take the place of Boost. We're almost at the 5-minute mark. Give them a few more minutes. But yeah, guys, let's get some activity in the chat. Have y'all been getting some Uber Eats Boost lately, or has it kind of been dry? We're at the 4-minute mark, so that's close enough. Okay. Now, some of y'all have heard me say this in my previous videos. I've said I put certain restaurants on a do not do business list. Now, what is the do not do business list? I only put a restaurant on there if they've dissatisfied me in some way that's affecting my immediate cash flow. Okay. So what are some of those ways? See, unusually long wait times. I'm not talking about something like 5 minutes. That's cool. But if a restaurant consistently is getting long wait times, like 10 or 15 minutes, I mean like almost every time you go there, it's 10 or 15 minutes, That's a problem. Or if they have a long wait time and they don't tell you it's going to be a long time, that's a problem too. So if y'all ever walked in a restaurant and you ask how long is it going to take, and they're kind of straggling to give you an answer, or they say it'll take like 5 minutes and it doesn't, it takes a lot longer. Things like that will make me put a restaurant in what I call a timeout. A timeout is okay, until you get your stuff together, if I see a ping coming from you, I'm just going to ignore it. I'll put them in a timeout for maybe a week, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 weeks. And then I'll go back to the restaurant and see if they've kind of stepped their game up. If they haven't, that's when I put them on the do not do business list. Now, does the do not do business list mean that I don't ever, ever, ever go back? Not necessarily, because restaurants in general tend to go through 3-month cycles. So you pick up at a CC's Pizza or McDonald's or whatever. I guarantee you 3 months from now, the staff and the employees there are going to be somewhat different. It's just the nature of the restaurant business is a high turnover rate. Now, this new wave of employees could be better equipped to handle these apps better. So I will give them another chance. But if a restaurant ends up on a do not do business list, it's like an extended 3-month timeout. Got a question here by David or a comment. Here in Messi, Tampa, Phoenix area, they do have $1 to $2 promotions in Tempe, but it's almost not worth it. It's full of construction areas and it's consistently enough not to matter. Okay. So David, you're saying if Uber would just up the amount that they're paying you for that area, you might think about it, but that $1 or $2 promotions is kind of like a joke, right? It's like, look, you got to up the price if you want me to deal with that stuff because it's just not enough. And I don't blame you. I always say every area of the city has a price, and it's up to you to decide what that price is going to be. If the work that you're doing outweighs what you're getting paid for it, you might just want to avoid that area like the plague. How the payment comes, it can come in tips, Uber boosts, promotions like you're talking about, but whatever the case, it needs to be able to match that price that you have in your head. But swinging back to the what is the Uber Eats do not do business list? That's basically my form of the do not do business list. Now, some things to consider. Some restaurants are packed certain times of the day. So you got some restaurants at dinner. You go in there and you pick the food right up and it's good, but at lunchtime they're getting their butts kicked and they got long wait times. Or vice versa. You go in there at lunchtime, everything is smooth, but dinner time they're getting their butts kicked. You get long wait times. So if you're getting the mix of the two, I'll attach a do not do business list specifically for lunchtime and one for dinner time. Because for whatever reason, it could just be the shifts. So, different shifts, people work the lunchtime, they may be lazier than the people work the dinner time, whatever it may be. That way you can kind of assess the situation. Because if you just put a restaurant on a do not do business list in general, then you might be missing out on potential money if they're good in dinner time, but they suck during lunchtime and vice versa. Type in a yes in the chat if that makes any sense, or if you have any questions about the do not do business list. Great. It looks like YouTube wants to be moody and getting this link out because it's showing me that not too many people have it, but we'll keep on trucking. Okay. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, maybe that's gonna help. But if y'all don't have any further questions about the restaurant do not do business lists or Uber Eats promotions in general, then we can go ahead and jump into a general Q&A. So guys, what's the word on the street? What's the questions y'all got about Uber Eats in general? I know it wasn't too many votes, but some of y'all had questions on what to do. I'll pull it up, but what to do if you can't contact the customer. Now, I've made videos about this, but I can cover some of it in this Q&A. Let's see. Okay, so we'll look at a few scenarios. You get to a customer's spot and you can't contact them, and you don't have enough information to move forward with the delivery. Some of y'all are asking me, what do you do? And in a nutshell, you cancel the delivery. You want to follow the instructions in the how to cancel Uber Eats video to make sure you get credit and it doesn't fall against you. But simply put, you just cancel the delivery. Okay. Old Dirty Dasher. I like that name. That's creative. Uber Eats is good sometimes if tips, but it's mostly bad in OC. Um, Dirty Dasher. What does OC stand for? Where is that? Do you know if the customer app asks them to tip before order or only after? Well, I will say, Dirty Dasher, one thing that can help clear that up is by being a customer of Uber Eats. But just to answer your question, they can do both. So I'll pull up, let's say I wanted to order Uber Eats right now. So I'm going to literally pull it up on my phone so you can see it. Okay. It gives you the option, stands for Orange County. Okay. But it gives you the option to tip either before or after. Like a good example is I recently ordered Uber Eats. Now I gave the driver a cash tip, but when I get on the app again, it's showing this. So it's asking me, do I want to rate and tip or, etc. Now, let's say I'm just going to put something random in my cart just so I can show you what it looks like. Okay. So it has the option to do this. You see us asking you if you want to tip a certain amount of the order. So it's asking if you want to tip 10% or 15% or a custom amount. And when you do that, then the tip is automatically applied 1 hour later. So they can tip before or after. We did a Q&A about, and it is like 2 months ago, but the benefits of it. I've noticed an increase in my tips since they've done this. So a lot of customers might forget to tip you, but they can just tip automatically before they even place the order. Then it goes to you an hour later. So that should answer your question. But if you have another question about it, just let me know. Old Dirty Dasher, I'm kind of curious. What prompted you to make that name? I think it's probably the most creative name I've seen before. Okay. Yeah, guys. Any questions about Uber Eats y'all have? Just throw them my way. What the? Okay. Let me start pulling from the comments in the video that I put out. Because some of them, they're not on the Q&A, I don't think, but they did have some good questions. So when people are listening on the playback, they can listen to it. So let me pull up the questions from that video. Let's see. Okay. One question on the topic video. Customers who give wrong addresses and customers who do not respond to texts or phone calls. I already answered the what to do if they don't respond to texts or phone call. Now, if a customer gives the wrong address, realize that you don't have to take it to the new address. Okay, it is somewhat of a scam that's going around. So let's say a delivery is too far and it's not within the range. They'll put like their workplace and then try and get in contact with you or the restaurant and say, "Oh, I put in the wrong address. This is the address I want you to bring it to." And the address might be like 10 miles away, and they wouldn't have been able to order it if their home address was in the phone. So that scam is kind of going around. Now, Uber support actually countered this because the last time it happened to me, Uber support said because I actually didn't deliver it. I didn't deliver it because I didn't want to. I wanted to stay within my zone. But they said they're gonna check to see if it's within the delivery range, and if so, then they'll pay me to do it. And if it wasn't, then they will let the customer know, hey, it's out of delivery range. So they've kind of addressed that scam. But sometimes people just forget. This time around, I'm a lot less sympathetic towards stuff like that. It only takes 2 seconds to confirm the address. People aren't doing it. If it's not within my immediate city, I just tell support I'm not doing it, and they'll pay me to. Basically, support will say, okay, well, if you don't want to do it, we still got to pay you, and for wherever you did drop off, and it's simple as that. Oh, Dirty Dasher. I love the Wu-Tang Clan and was doing a lot of PM and Postmates and DoorDash when I first started watching these channels on delivery apps. So it was inspired by DoorDash to a certain degree. I kind of suspected that. I appreciate you answering that because I was kind of curious. Okay, next question in the topics video rather. Okay, customers that are hard to find and they don't answer calls or texts. What is the procedure? By Andy Burns. The procedure is to cancel delivery, and I'm gonna link. I'm gonna find a video later, and on playback, I'm gonna link it in the description, and also pin it as a comment. But don't overstress yourself. Just cancel the delivery, okay? You want to wait 8 minutes and then cancel and put can't find recipient. You don't want to waste time on this stuff because time is money. You're sitting there all stressed out, wondering what you can do. Just cancel it and give the food to the homeless or eat it yourself. I mean, this stuff is too convenient and easy for customers to be making it hard. Okay, next question. Customers who answer their door with their big dogs, what do you do? Okay, I've had this happen several times. Uh, I'll just say this: put a custom text in your phone and say, "Hi, my name is such and such. I'm your Uber Eats driver." Ask the customer if they have a big dog and say that you're allergic or you're scared or whatever. If they say no, you're good to go. If they say yes, request that they meet you at your car or meet you downstairs or whatever the scenario is. And most customers, they can either respect that or they're going to have to make arrangements so the dog is locked in the bathroom or something because some people have real phobias of dogs. I mean, I had a relative that was looking into Uber Eats and I thought to myself, because that big dog thing is actually it's a likely scenario. I mean, I don't really care about dogs, but she has a phobia of dogs. She doesn't like them. So I was thinking, what if she finds herself in a situation where customer opens the door and like a dog is like jumping around her. I've had that several times. They can be little or big dogs, but the dogs get excited and they start like jumping on you and stuff. I'm not scared of dogs, so I don't particularly care. But I know some people are, and it actually is not appropriate. Like if you report them to Uber, they will document that as a strike on the customer's part. But just make a text and just have it so that that's your custom text that gets sent out every time you're heading towards the customer. And make arrangements so they can meet you at the car if they have a big dog or whatever. Because really, there's no excuse. It really isn't. I mean, come on. Yeah, we didn't even cover if someone is allergic to dogs. But if you're allergic to dogs and then it triggers something, just because the customer couldn't use the common sense to send them in the back room or lock them in the restroom or whatever for 2 seconds. So, Hickey Springs, hey Elijah, Valerie here, enjoying this Q&A. Well, it's much appreciated. If I'm not saying your name wrong, if I'm saying your name wrong, let me know. But I'll just say I appreciate it, Miss Springs. Okay. I'll move on to the next question. Customers in apartments on high floors and you can't find parking. Do you ask them to come down? You bet. Hell yeah, I do. No Uber Eats order is worth a parking ticket. Let me say that again. No Uber Eats order is worth a parking ticket. If you agree, hit a thumbs up in the chat, okay? I mean, I do this in my downtown all the time. I don't go up to the 50th floor or whatever because parking is an issue in most cases. And I'm not about to park on the curb or park somewhere, then be surprised with a ticket or officer like, "Hey, is this your car, sir?" That ain't happening to me, okay? They gonna bring they butt down here. If they don't like it, they should realize that there are cons to living in the downtown area and you're on the 50th floor. The only exception is if that building has concierges that will bring the food up. I'll park on the curb for like 30 seconds, run in there, give the food to the concierge, tell them the name, then go back to my car. I'll do that, but that's as far as that goes. Let's see. Michael is using a mopped 50cc 2 Is that a type of scooter, Michael? I'm assuming it is. I'm not sure, so let me know if it's a scooter. I'm assuming it is, but I'll wait for you to verify. Yeah, Michael, it depends on your area, whether it's unsafe or not. I mean, I would argue that in general, nowadays people can't drive, but if that is if you feel it's unsafe, that's something to think about. I'll say this: the slower you're going, the more safe it gets. So like if you're going high speed, kind of gets unsafe. If you're going lower speed, it starts to get safer and safer. Because if something unexpected happens, you have more time to adapt and stop or whatever. But whether it's unsafe or not, that's really going to depend on your immediate area. Now, I'll tell you for mine in downtown Dallas, I don't think it's safe, but I still see people doing it. Another thing to consider is whether you're in the street or not. If you're on the sidewalk, it's not as convenient, but it's probably safer. But you're in the street, that's probably where the maximum amount of unsafe is kind of taking place. Okay, let's see. I think that's it for all the people who commented but aren't on the stream right now. Let me just double check. Okay, Macro Antonio has a question. Well, it's really more of a comment. Maximum distance that they have delivered food, and if there is a way to put limits onto that. Personally, I've gone up to 15 miles away from where I collected the food. Macro, I would say I don't have an immediate solution for that. The only solution I would have is knowing the restaurants that can give you a delivery that far. That's going to come from trial and error, and also by you looking at the customer app, seeing what time it's guaranteed to be in. And once you get like the handles on that, you can just decide that, okay, I'm going to put those restaurants on the back burner and stick to restaurants to give you short trips. I've had a situation where I picked up an order and it specifically was going to take me to somewhere I did not want to go. And I literally just gave the food back and canceled it. I'm not saying that you should do that. but I don't think Uber Eats is going to be able to get away with not showing the final destination too much longer, especially with this whole controversy that's going on in California. Are people in the gig economy there employees, or are they independent contractors? And the AB5 bill passing, and it's gonna become inevitable. They're gonna start showing out the final drop off point in general, not just on guarantee orders. So I would say stay tuned for that. If I had to take a guess, I would say probably at the beginning of next year. That's when they're probably gonna realize that they cannot get away with it any longer. Oh, Dirty Dasher, do you only do Uber Eats? GH, I'm assuming that means Grubhub Pay. Change really sucks. Old Dirty Dasher. Yeah, one person always asks this in every Q&A I do, but when it comes to delivery apps, yeah, I only do Uber Eats. I have Postmates set up as a backup, but that's it. I'm not one of those multi-appers. I don't really think it's necessary. I think you should master one app down to the core, and once you have the fundamentals of that algorithm and how it works down, you should be able to extract as much money you need from that one app. At least that's my philosophy. For me, it's Uber Eats. And when it comes to delivery apps, the only thing I talk about is Uber Eats. Because I talk about other apps like financial apps, UberX occasionally, but delivery wise, you're really always just gonna hear Uber Eats. Uh, Lenny Lucas, hi. Yesterday they sent me to a restaurant that they are not affiliated with. Are you serious? So like, you're saying when you got to the restaurant, they basically told you we're not affiliated with Uber Eats, but it popped up on your phone. Is that what you're saying, Lucas? That would be a first. I do have a way you could handle it and still get something out of it, but it's a little concerning as far as Uber Eats is concerned. Maybe they were affiliated, but they just became unaffiliated. So maybe the restaurant just got kicked off. Well, I doubt that. Maybe the restaurant just canceled their deal with Uber Eats, and Uber Eats hasn't updated it on their end. That's the only thing I can think of, which is sloppy on their behalf. Uber Eats got crazy slow in my market. Yes, that is what happened. Lucas, I'm gonna stick with the non-affiliated. So I'm assuming you canceled the order, right? If that ever does happen, you want to make sure you call support. Don't cancel on your own because you're not gonna get paid anything. If you call support and explain the situation, they should be able to give you like a $3 reimbursement or some kind of type of reimbursement because you did drive to the restaurant. So make sure you call support and have them cancel, and don't cancel yourself. Good. Okay. Yeah. They gave you a $3 reimbursement. And Lucas, about it being crazy slow, that's the summer slowdown. The month of July is the slowest period for delivery apps and rideshare too, because specifically with food delivery, everyone's on vacation. Hey, believe it or not, a lot of people don't go on vacation in June. They just take it easy. And then vacation comes in July. They're out in the Bahamas or the Philippines or whatever, just having a good time. Then they come back towards the very end of July and it starts to pick back up in August. Not just that, but there's a lack of business conferences in July. A lot of UberX people who normally would be doing UberX, they can't get as much activity, so they'll hop on Uber Eats to try and subsidize, so it kind of bloats the fleet. So you're looking at a decrease in demand and an increase in drivers available. So when that happens, it's like, well, shoot, it's bloated. So you just kind of got to deal with it. I mean, July is actually the perfect time if you do these apps to go on vacation yourself. Lucas, I'm on DoorDash as well. They are very busy. Um, I'll just say that the month of July, you might just have to do what you have to. One thing, my videos are about taking everything you can out of your market via strategies, but one thing that no one can do anything about is activity. If people just aren't ordering, there's not much you can do. And that's what's going on in the month of July. Let's see. Okay, we're at the, oh wow, we're at the 30-minute mark. That did not feel like 30 minutes. Okay, we'll go to the 45-minute mark, unless y'all don't have any questions, and we'll go ahead and call it quits. But yeah, any questions or comments about Uber Eats? Hit me with them. I'm looking for any other comments that y'all have had questions on in videos. I don't see any currently, so we'll just be answering questions from the live chat. Lucas, good to know. Just started in April. Oh yeah, Lucas. Uh, the delivery economy, if you want to say that, it has ups and downs. Like the down periods are at the very beginning of January, like really the month of January and the month of July. Those are the periods where it's extremely slow. And everything else is generally just average to good. And towards the end of the year, December, they really start throwing out like fat, because they know people are spending time with their families and all kinds of stuff. So they start throwing out like promotions a lot of time to get you on the road. It's pretty busy. So busiest month, I would say, is December. The slowest months are January and July. Lucas, they took away promotions for 1 week, then put it back on, but it isn't high. That makes sense. Like, you will see Uber Eats play around with the promotions in January and July because they know the fleet is bloated and there's not as much demand. So it's kind of like they feel like they don't need to put it out there to incentivize for the demand to get met. Oh, Dirty Dasher, if I go on vacation out of state, will I be able to log in to UA and do deliveries? I'm actually not sure. And the reason I'm not sure, the way Uber Eats works, like if you wanted to just go to another state, we're not even talking about going to another country, another state, you would basically have to make another account. So to hop across another country, I'm assuming it's the same, but like there are language barriers that they may be concerned about. So they may not actually let you do it. For example, like the Canadian version of English is different from the version of English spoken here in America and in Europe and in Australia. So they may not allow it because of stuff like that. It couldn't hurt to ask. I mean, oh, Dirty Dasher, Postmates works in different states. Yeah, I know Postmates, you can go, well, I think you just have to let support know and they'll add that city to your account. I don't think you just turn the app on and then it start getting requests. You gotta let them know. I do know, like with Lyft, you can go to any city. You ain't gotta talk to support at all. Just turn the app on, and you can get pings. Okay, David Brown. I'm not sure with Uber Eats, but you can do that with Lyft. Yeah. I can see why Uber has it set up that way because there just may be some barriers they may feel you're not equipped to handle. Like there are some words that are different in like UK English that you wouldn't even know about. So you may say something like, "Oh, what? I don't understand," and then you're like confused. So, Michael, is it true that scooters get more orders? Well, scooters have a certain range, and if a lot of orders are coming within that range, then yes, it's true. Now, generally speaking, scooter orders, you can usually only apply to use a scooter for Uber Eats if you're in an area with a lot of concentrated activity or concentrated people. So you're dealing with, okay, you only have a range of like 4 miles, and all this activity is coming through in, let's say, downtown. In one building, it has like so many people. So given the fact that you're within that range and there's so many orders coming through, there's going to be a lot of activity. Now, I think scooter orders are given priority over like a car, but I haven't had a chance to confirm that. And what I mean by that is, let's say you and me are literally in a parking lot just having a conversation. We're both Uber Eats drivers. We're both just talking. We're online. And a ping comes through. It'll come to you first. And if you reject it, then it'll come to me since I'm in the car. I haven't confirmed that though, but I think that's the case. Okay. Got 10 more minutes, guys. Y'all got any other Uber Eats questions or comments for me? For those of y'all just joining, I don't know why, but the link that was supposed to be for this Q&A got sent out much earlier than it was supposed to. So a lot of people clicked on that link and the Q&A wasn't going on yet. So more people should have been in here to ask questions, but YouTube, whatever. I'm just not even gonna. Ugh. But you got my apology for that. One thing I might take a look at, maybe finding someone who in my market who does Uber Eats on a scooter and just kind of interview them. That's something I definitely wouldn't mind doing. Lucas, not sure, but I heard Uber Eats will reimburse gas receipts. I don't think that's true. Do you know? I would say it's not true. The reason being because we're not employees. They'd be lawfully required to if we were employees, but we own our own cars. We're driving our own vehicles. And that gas receipt is something that's tax deductible if you go with the actual expense method. Like all this fits under the category of being a contractor. So I'll say that's probably false. It's not like working at Pizza Hut or Domino's or something where they would have to reimburse you for something like that. I would say whoever brought that up, maybe they just heard about something that heard about something that heard about something, and it just eventually was accepted that, oh, well, that's the way it is when it's not. Lucas, I do mileage. I'm assuming you're talking about on your taxes. You take the standard mileage deduction. I say for delivery drivers, that's probably going to be the biggest expense, so it's in your interest to do that. The only time the actual expense method might work is maybe if you're doing rideshare. If you're renting a vehicle, either way though, you can't use the standard mileage. You have to use the actual expense method. Oh, Dirty Dasher, did you see Uber Eats wants to acquire Postmates? No, I didn't. It wouldn't surprise me though. Like Postmates, I have a friend who's done Postmates for like 5 years. He always suspected that they were going to get acquired because he kept seeing the other companies grow and grow and they're just kind of staying the same. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Do I want to see it or not? I don't think I do. The reason being is I actually use Postmates as a customer a decent amount, and I'll use it on restaurants that aren't don't have automatic pickups on Uber Eats. Because like you can put on Postmates a restaurant and have the delivery driver place the order and all that stuff. Now I hate that as a driver, but as a customer, I value it. If they were to disappear, I doubt Uber Eats would keep that the same. They would just switch it over to automatic pickup, and I would say I wouldn't want to see that. Plus, more apps kind of evens out the whole gig economy. The less there are, then generally speaking, I count that as a bad thing. The only exception is one company I definitely wouldn't mind seeing going away is Favor. Like most of y'all don't know about Favor because it's a Texas company, but they're literally like Postmates. You can use it in place of order, but they're like a shining example of what not to do. Like if y'all ever inspired to make an app, a delivery app, or ride, whatever, and a good example of what not to do is that Favor app. You get paid $2, and then it's a mandatory tip on the customer's end to get paid to pay $2. So a delivery could take you 50 minutes, and you'll get $4, unless the customer tips more. And y'all know I don't like relying solely on tips to make money. But let me get off a Favor. I mean, that's a joke. Barber Spa. Hey, bro, what's going on? Oh, Dirty Dasher, Postmates was my first step and it was awesome 4 years ago. That's what my friend said. He said Postmates was awesome. Like it started out like they were paying the most at the time. He was one of those people that does like multiple apps, and they did it so well. He decided to be exclusive with Postmates. Then they dropped the ball and he got back to doing multiple apps. Barber Spa. You think Uber Eats is better than Favor? Barber Spa. I think any of these apps are better than Favor. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of DoorDash, but I would say it's better than Favor. Thanks. You answered while I was asking. Yeah. I mean, like I said, a lot of y'all that aren't in Texas, y'all probably haven't heard of Favor, but oh my gosh, this is a joke. And they want you to wear those little sky blue shirts, which if you're gonna have a dress code, you need to just hire people. You need to just be a traditional job, and they need to be employees. You ain't about to have me wearing no sky blue shirt to represent your business. Hell, I got my own business. In fact, I put it like this: they want me to wear their shirt. It comes at a price. You're gonna be paying me. Oh, Dirty Dasher. Postmates is right there. Minimum is $2.75. Sad. Well, I will say one thing that hurt Postmates, and I'll get back. Well, we're towards the end, so I don't mind talking about other apps. But when it comes to Postmates, I know they got rid of that $4 minimum guarantee. So, like, if an order was under $4, let's say it goes around the corner, and they'll bump it up to $4. So you could get a few automatic pickups and slide 3 or 4 an hour, and you be at $12 or $16 an hour without best before tips because of that minimum guarantee. They recently got rid of it, and drivers did not like it. They did not like it. I remember a group in California was specifically the thing that Uber drivers are told not to do with surge, where they turn the apps on and turn it on to kind of stage a surge. They were doing that in California, and it was pretty nasty because they're basically making Blitz activate to make up for Blitz is the Blitz time. It's the equivalent of Uber's version of Surge, but it is crazy because they were doing that to make up for the money they used to make off those minimum short order guarantees, $4 guarantees that Postmates used to do. Oh, Dirty Dasher, I was part of that. I never saw Blitz. I will say this. I already knew that wasn't going to last because you got to realize these apps aren't profitable. So the money that's being paid has to come from somewhere. Now, they're not making money. So anytime you pick up food, you drop it off in a short vicinity, then they're bumping you up to $4. Where is that money coming from? It has to come from the company's reserves. And eventually, either that's going to run out or it's going to strain other operations financially. So I knew that was going to have to eventually go away. They probably picked the worst time to do it, and they didn't give the drivers something in return. They basically they pulled it off like Uber would have did. They pretended like it was in the driver's favor when it was really a joke, and the drivers responded pretty negatively. Some people just got off Postmates. Some people started staging blitz time, and some people just start denying like short orders, like literally like half a mile away, where you knew for a fact, okay, I'm gonna at least get $4 out of this. They said, man, I'm gonna get chunk change. I'm not doing that crap, and they would just ignore it. So now you got customers waiting 2 hours to get their food because no one's taking the trips. Oh, Dirty Dasher, I think Postmates got wind of it and made it in their favor. Oh, all I can say is I could tell they're in trouble, and I don't want to see them get acquired. I really don't. I like seeing even though I just do Uber Eats, I do like seeing a balanced playing field. Plus, I do have a bias. I mean, like I said, I do use Postmates as a customer a lot too. I like being able to pick a restaurant that isn't partnered and still be able to get that delivered. Barber Spa, I'm in Dallas and just started about a month ago. I'm still struggling to pick hot spots. Any tips? Yeah, a barber spa. I would say the reason you're struggling is because you started in a slow period. So you're not seeing enough activity for you to really buckle down. Okay, what's the hotspots? So just wait until August. The activity will return. Then you can start seeing, okay, I'm seeing the patterns that Elijah talked about in this video. So this is the hotspot, this is the hotspot. Now I'm going to say I'm in the Dallas market too, but I'm not going to tell you what the hotspots are, because if I tell you, everyone and their mama and their daddy who's in the Dallas market will hear that, and then it's not going to be a hotspot. You're going to pull up there and you're going to have 15 more Uber Eats drivers talking about, hey, what's going on? Join the club. We've been sitting there for an hour, but we haven't got a ping. It's because y'all are sitting in the same spot. That's why. See. Oh, Dirty Dasher. All their money from investors. Now investors want their returns, so they're shopping the company. Not even their IPO is going to get them their money back. Oh, Dirty Dasher. There's a rumor that Uber and Lyft, they were forcing this, hey, we really got to go public. We really got to go public so much because they saw what's going on in California. They saw that it was coming around the corner as far as governments making them put the people that built their company, making them employees, and employees are expensive. And the money that they had to pay in benefits alone will cost like around like $500 million just in the state of California. Imagine if the rest of these states started doing it. So it's just my hypothesis, but I think they wanted to cash in on that IPO and get as much money as they could to try and avoid all that. Not avoid, but if they did the IPO after this whole employee thing hit, I don't think they would have got that much money. They actually didn't get as much as they wanted when they went public. So I think a lot of these companies like Postmates, DoorDash, that they started following Uber and Lyft's suit because they saw it coming too. The only difference was Uber and Lyft actually had the capability to do it. And I don't think that Postmates and these delivery apps can do it yet. DoorDash doesn't really need to, because back when they were talking about a DoorDash and Postmates merger, shortly after that, DoorDash got a lot of private backers. So the money they needed, they got it from other private investors, and they've been putting it to use in form of advertising, expanding promotion. So they already have the money they need to keep expanding. Postmates is a real one that's in danger. But we're gonna see how it plays out. It's gonna be interesting. Watching this thing on the watching it how this plays out on the sideline is pretty interesting. Lucas, I was told don't put your eggs in one basket. I'm highly rated and tipped well. Someone can lie and say you tampered with their food for a free meal and you'll get deactivated. I can't speak for the other apps, Lucas, but that's actually not true with Uber Eats. They used to do credits where if something was wrong with your order, when I say order, I mean like the order had ranch on it and you said you didn't want ranch because you're allergic or whatever. Uber Eats used to give a credit where you can get a refund, or you would you could get the order redistributed so the restaurant would have to make it again and send it to you. They used to do that. But if you have an issue with the driver, it just goes as a thumbs down. Even if like it leads to someone getting deactivated, they don't get a free meal. And they stopped doing the thing with the restaurants too. The reason they stopped it is because once again, this is money that's just being given out. So it's being taken from the money repertoire of the company. And when they went public, stuff like that had to stop. So I mean, it is what it is. But this is why I say, guys, y'all should really try these apps as customers, so y'all can really see it from the other perspective. Because I've actually directly had situations. Well, one situation where the restaurant actually did mess my order up. I ordered some sesame tofu, and they gave me like the tofu and the vegetables, but there was no rice in there. I was like, what the hell? So I put in that I had a problem with my order, and they had the restaurant remake it again and send another order out. Lucas, one person did this to me on Uber Eats, said this was me, and sent me some guidelines. Okay. Well, Lucas, I will say that the best defense against that is really, what vibe did you get from this person? Were you really kind of picking up that, they didn't like you, or they're just a butthole, or basically were you picking up that they're gonna do something shady? If you're picking that up, I wouldn't follow through with the order. I give them the food, wait 8 minutes, cancel, then they can't rate you or say anything. Because that's how that works on the customer app. If order is canceled, you can't comment on or submit feedback for a driver because the order is canceled. Lucas, and told me I could be deactivated. No, that was weird. Yeah. David, always gonna have haters and scammers. That's true. And that's true for all these apps. So you just gotta have safety precautions in place to defend yourself. But let's say if a company did deactivate you, I agree with you shouldn't put your eggs in one basket. I don't agree that doing all these apps is a solution. I think you should really focus on developing another skill set outside of the industry. Uh, I guess I'm not the best example of this, but I already had the skill set of video editing for our clients. So I still edit videos to this day and get paid between I want to say between $100 and like $300 to $400 just for editing clients' videos. And these are fairly affluent people. That's a skill set that I can utilize to make money, and it's separate from these apps. I would encourage you to develop a skill set that you can freelance and make money off of. That should be your backup plan. I wouldn't have a backup plan being another app. Like the way I categorize skill making money set. Okay, let me rephrase that. I categorize skill sets as making money. So when you're driving, you are driving around food to people. The skill set you're using is driving and using technology. Okay, important skill set. But if you just switch to another app, you're basically using the same skill set. Instead, you want to develop another skill set, like editing videos for clients, or I don't know, making money on YouTube, or designing t-shirts, or selling stuff on eBay, or selling in general. You see how you're developing a new skill set? It's completely separate from the industry in general. Because let's say if this AB5 thing that's going on in California, as far as the employees and all that stuff, let's say other states start adopting it. Let's say your state starts adopting it. Then this whole industry, as you see it, can change for the negative, and it might not be something you're on board with. The true backup plan in that scenario would be a skill set separate from the industry. Let's see. Lucas, I only delivered to 3 people. They were very pleasant that day, Mother's Day, as a matter of fact. Hmm. Lucas, I wouldn't be too concerned because it's like David said, you're always going to have people that are scammers. Maybe they were trying to get some free food. It's pretty funny that they didn't get it, but it is what it is. All you can do is defend yourself and have backups to your backups. David, I agree. This works best if it's a second job or a spare time thing. Yeah, I agree. Lucas, I'm a Jill of all trades. I like that. A Jill of all trades. So the female version of Jack of all trades. I like that. So I'm employable just like this. Okay. So, Lucas, are you saying that you can pretty much find work in other places? Or are you saying you wouldn't mind being an employee on these apps? I'm a little confused. But specifically in the I can. So you're saying that you can find other work. Is that what you're saying, Lucas? What time are we at? Okay, we're going. I've gone past 45 minutes. We'll finish out in an hour. So last few minutes, fellas. Y'all got any other questions or comments? Lucas, yes, that's good. So you already more or less have a backup plan. I will say this, and I guess it is pre-promoting, but my first book is coming out, and a huge part of it is how to increase income. So if you are looking for other ways to make income, you need to know how to evaluate opportunities that are presented to you, financial opportunities. So that'll be able to help with that. Yes, thanks for your time. Hey, no problem, Lucas. That's what I'm here for. Let's see. But does anyone have any closing comments or questions about Uber Eats? There's a few questions that I have made videos that can help on those topics. I normally type it in the chat, but I was just lazy today. So I'll put those in the description for the playback. Barber Spa, appreciate it. Hey, like I told Lucas, that's what I'm here for. Let's see. All right, everyone. If that's all the questions we got, then we'll go ahead and call it quits in the Q&A. It's been Ubereats Q&A by the App Lifestyle. So be safe out there. Look forward to the slowdown ending. It is just for the month of July. I know you can turn the app on, and for those of y'all that have watched the Ubereats advanced course, it's like we're in scenario like 4 and 5, where it's just like I'm sitting here, I want to ping, but most people on vacation, and it's just causing a ripple effect. But they're gonna come back, and school's gonna get in, and people get back to their cycles of work, picks kids up from school. I'm too lazy to cook. Let me get on these apps, Uber Eats, and order some. That's gonna start back up in August. So look forward to that. Be safe out there, and I guess Uber Eats on, and keep getting that app money. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.